so you can click record, and that can be the opening. Is just me shitting on the government. All right, that's
Well, it wasn't on there, but I clicked record after.
yeah. But
So
now,
now it is.
now I want that to be the open.
Well, I mean, if you came to this podcast to hear people shit on the government, you came to the right people because man, we will go all day long.
And we shit differently. That's great.
Yeah, but it's all of it is complaining about the government. So I am happy to live in America where I have the ability to do that. Because in some countries, you would not.
I am not allowed to shit on the government, but I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I can shit on the government. That's my favorite country song, actually.
Yeah. Hey, if that is not a country song, it should be.
I'm writing it right now.
It's in process right now. The other day I was reading, speaking of governments, about a particular government in the Middle East where you are not allowed to have public Christian ceremonies because you could be shot and killed while you're there. So I was like, I didn't know that was, I mean, I knew that was, martyrdom still exists. I didn't realize that it was that, like,
right.
Maybe they arrest you and they'd be like, what are you talking about? No, they just be like, oh, they're talking about Jesus over there. They can just shoot you.
Well, I'm glad we can talk about our belief system of fitness and nutrition and not have any persecution, except for anybody that may want to disagree with us when we put these episodes out there.
Woo, man. Speaking of, that controversial opinion that I put out there, controversial evidence-based opinion.
Oh, the sugar, yeah,
yeah. Oh, man.
Well, because like in people's defense, that's been so ingrained in the mainstream culture that you get told sugar's addictive, sugar's addictive, sugar's addictive, sugar's addictive, because you hear it's like just as bad as cigarettes or alcohol, like all these crazy like comparisons out there.
Any other hearts are like cocaine, heroin.
Right? Oh, it's just as addictive as cocaine. Like,
the
I mean, I do like just like go face down and snort pixie sticks, but still not the same thing. Like,
oh, that's a different pixie stick. It's just a pixie stick. Anyway, I digress. But the funny thing, we were talking about what kind of episodes we're gonna start recording and moving towards those things. We were joking about various things. So we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna do like nutrition fitness episodes for the next couple episodes. Just because one, it's about to be holiday times all around the world. So no matter what religion, we referenced Christianity earlier, but no matter what religion that you have, there likely is a holiday of it in the next.
And even if you're not religious, you still enjoy the holidays, like hand raised. So yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Christmas has become secularized to the max. Still, fun fact: Santa Claus, good old Saint Nick once punched a guy in the face. So go ahead and look up that story. I'll reference it in the show notes so you guys can see that. We were at,
and he was once pelted with snowballs in Philadelphia. So there you
go. We were at Home Depot earlier. I just throw this home store out, but I just like their main competitor, so I'm okay with that. Earlier, and they have all of their Christmas stuff already. Like they were real fast. Like it was not even like the day after Halloween. I think I want to say it was like
I went to Target. All right, here we go. Name drop another store. People just send us money. I went to Target on Halloween, and the Halloween section had been broken down, and the Christmas stuff had been put up.
That's the part where you go. It's the last minute shopper. Like that's the moment you can get all of the money still from it.
Well, like I literally was like, I'm probably need to buy a little bit of candy just in case I have trick or treaters, and there was no trick or treat candy to buy.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna hand out this Christmas stuff. Here, have a gingerbread man. Have a Christmas tree.
Is it from last year? Is it from this year? I don't know. It could be.
Just confuse the hell out of small children. It's perfect.
Yeah. Man. But either way, so all the holidays are coming up, despite what anybody wants to say. Inevitably, you're going to be around a lot of people that are probably going to be talking about whatever diet they've been on recently, or what diet they're going to start at the beginning of the year, or their different nutrition or fitness goals that they have. So we'll fill you in on some things that can help you get to that point at the beginning of the year, but then also some things if you're currently trying to figure out what you want to do, maybe those will give you some little tips and things that you're thinking about to help you round out your edges on there.
Absolutely, because yeah, it's going to be a lot of discussions around the dinner table, and having a cocktail or two, and people are going to talk about their New Year's resolutions and stuff that they're going to be trying out, food and nutrition wise. So now you can argue with them because that's clearly what we want out of this is to create an argumentative individual.
Yeah, not just trying to give you the clarity, right? So there's a lot of muddled waters. If you want to go back and listen to one of our old episodes of what the fad diet is that. That's what I said. What the fad diet is that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Play on words because that's not really what I wanted to say. But those are a lot of the things that people are going to talk about. But going forward, today, what we really want to focus on is protein. So there are 3 macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So what is protein? And
It
the reason why
magically makes me put on muscle, right? If I make sure I'm eating 3 grams of protein for every pound of body fat, I'm gonna, or every pound of that I weigh, I'm just gonna magically put on muscle mass, right? Like that's how it works.
if you put on if you ate 3 grams for every pound of body fat that you had, it definitely wouldn't help you. One, probably because you're such a lean individual, you don't have enough body fat to make up to get enough protein in to help you build muscle mass. But when there are different ways to look at it when you're thinking about grams of protein per insert thing. You can do grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. You can do grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. You can do grams of protein per pound of total body mass, grams of protein per kilogram of total body mass. But I really want to talk about what is protein, right? So we can get into that later, but I had somebody tell me, I asked them if they could list some sources of protein because it's a particular person that had increased protein needs for their body because they were on hemodialysis. So hemodialysis utilizes your body's source of protein. So you have to eat a lot more protein because it's very catabolic. It'll break down your body and rob you of protein. So when they started listing sources of protein, what do you think was the first thing they said?
Peanut butter.
Broccoli.
Oh,
Broccoli. That was the first thing they said. And I said,
because most of the time when I talk to people, I get a lot of like nuts, like a lot of nuts, kind of eggs, like all right, like that makes sense. Not a huge source of protein, but there's protein in it. Broccoli. Okay,
yeah.
I'm intrigued.
It's like, no, not quite. Could you think of another source of protein? Like we're thinking about protein. And they proceeded to rattle off a bunch of vegetables that I would not say are excellent sources of protein, even if you're talking about a vegetable. So, like, I got spinach in there. I got another. I want to say they said romaine, like something. I stopped them there. I was like, no. Let's.
Well, all right. So at least you went romaine instead of iceberg. So there's that. There's
Yes, I like a good crunchy romaine as well. Uh, my my father-in-law says if he ever goes to he got this from someone before, but if he ever goes to a restaurant and it has a wedge of iceberg on the menu, he has to order it. He's like, I was just told at some point, Tommy, you have to get it if this is on there. And we were laughing about it because it's probably really delicious because of what they pile on top of it.
oh, absolutely. Because there's always like bacon and like a creamy like house made ranch. And, like
And all of that, even the bacon right there, like none of that I would say is a good source of protein. Right. So you got water in the iceberg. That's essentially the
nice and hydrated. All right.
nice thing is in there. The house-made dressing is a good source of fat. And the bacon, also a good source of fat for saturated fat intake. Probably the house-made dressing is also probably saturated fat.
Absolutely.
Let's say the house-made dressing is like got a lot of olive oil in it or something, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so they have have a nice oil based one. Yeah,
Yeah, well, probably not, but especially go with the iceberg.
right.
But when we're thinking about sources of protein, I am still shocked when people list things that are not sources of protein. And I've been doing this for a long time now. So, I mean, I get shocked about it. So, when we're thinking about sources of protein, the highest, best source for your body of protein from a whole food perspective, I'm not talking about supplements, are going to be things that are meat items,
Animal based.
animal based. Yeah. So, the uh, funny thing when you think about your teeth, this is a simple way to think about it. The front ones are designed to cut through meat. Your body was built to consume meat. um, Even if you look at our ancestors, and when you look at tribes in Africa that people frequently cite as like the long distance running hunting and gathering tribes that still exist there, um, they are hunting meat. They're not hunting plants, right? So the best source of protein for your body, also very rich in things that your body needs, like vitamin B12, which only exists in meat. It does not exist in plants. Um,
Doesn't exist in those like fancy shots I can go to a to an energy doctor for, and he can just inject me with a ton
well,
of
I mean,
B12.
yes. So you get IM injections of B12, right? Intramuscular injections of B12, but that's extracted from a meat, right? So naturally occurring, maybe that's a better way to say it. It's the best naturally occurring source of um, vitamin B12. And then also, there's two kinds of iron out there. There's heme iron, HEME iron, and non-heme iron. Heme iron only exists in meat products. That is your body's preferred source of iron. So we're thinking about protein, like I said, it's meat products. So whether it's beef, turkey, chicken, pork, fish, meat, right? So some people think when I say meat, they think of it just mean beef.
Right.
They don't equate like birds
Yeah.
as meat.
Think meat as being red meat. You know.
Yeah. Um, and then I also want to reference, so let's just talk about meat in, I want to say it's 2017 or 2018. One of those two, somewhere in there, 2017 or 2018. A study came out that used, and I'll reference it in the show notes so you guys can look up the study because people want to see the study. That two groups, each group was their own control, right? But they separated them so that way they can be their own control, and then uh, go on these two diets. And this is a really well done study where they prepared all of the meals and people picked up all of their meals, which is great, right? I want to be a part of the study, but I didn't live close enough to the university to be able to be part of the study. So prepared all their meals. They gave them all Mediterranean foods, right? So the classic Mediterranean diet where it's fish, fruits and vegetables, and all those things. And took all their blood markers. They did a washout week where they weren't doing anything, and then they gave them the exact same kind of diet, but substituted lean red meats for all of the fish products. So lean. So when they say lean, it was 90% lean or greater. So just 10% of saturated fat or less on all these meat products. And when they compared the numbers at the end, both groups had the exact same outcomes, right? So there was no alteration in blood values. There's no issues with heart disease, increased risk of heart disease, or any of those things. They're the same thing, which means that it's really the saturated fat.
Right. And I think that's the kind of the main takeaway is making sure that it's lean sources of of beef and red meats that you're taking in because it's
Right.
very easy to go want to spend a little bit cheaper on a cheaper cut with a lot more fat or the there's the good old 73% ground beef and
And God, I know whenever we make um, burgers and stuff, like we uh, grill often for football games, Go Dogs. Uh, the We go to a big box store, and we get a very large pack of pre-shaped burgers. Uh, and we always get the ground sirloin ones because they're ground sirloin should be 90% lean and 10% fat. Um, but like ground chuck is 85-15.
Right.
So that's a little bit too far to the fat. Tastes delicious. Not going to disagree with you. You know, a little bit of fat's not going to destroy your diet.
That's
Um,
always the funny thing to me is like people substituting ground turkey for ground beef, and you've got to really pay attention to the percentage on it because it's very easy to find 80-20 and 85-15 ground turkey. You're paying a lot more for it because it's not red meat, but you're still getting the same health benefits or not benefits.
right. Yeah. So, I mean, even like when you're looking for ground poultry, you always got to be aware that like ground chicken will often also be not super lean because they're mixing in thighs and everything too. Which again, nothing wrong with that. You know, it's an every once in a while food, not an all the time food. Um, but those are the big essentials. So my favorite way though to get my protein in, like I said, burgers definitely number one. Easiest, fastest way. But when I'm thinking about um, the fast, simple protein like rotisserie chicken at a grocery store. No matter what grocery store you go to, I guarantee somebody sells a rotisserie chicken in there. Peel off the skin. I know it's delicious. Try to avoid eating it. Um, the amount, the cost per like gram per pound of meat, but per gram of protein you're getting there is so cheap in a rotisserie chicken. If
Yeah, and like it's versatile too. Like you can sit there and eat it just as that chicken. You can throw it in other recipes you need if you don't have enough time to like cook up your chicken that night. Yeah, a rotisserie chicken's amazing.
Yeah, we frequently go to the same big box store as our other things, and they are famous for their $5 rotisserie chicken, which they've said that they will never get rid of. Um, and those, I don't, I've I read this long blog about trying to decipher is it good for you, bad for you, and basically it comes down to it's not bad for you, it's freaking delicious, and it's only $5. So uh, for us, I know it's me, my wife, and our 3-year old and our 1-year old. Um, we can split that in half, and that's like 2 dinner meals out of the whole thing because it's so much stuff that's on there. We frequently do like chicken salad out of one half, and then we'll just eat the other pieces of the other half as they are. Um, and like Matt said, that pairs well with a lot of different stuff, but that's going to get you. If you had, you can also get just chicken breast by itself, whether it's skinless, boneless chicken breast, but um, there you can get the rotisserie breast that's just been cut off, like it's already been lopped off for you. A little bit more expensive than $5, but you know, somebody's already doing the work for you. It's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So why not? Yeah, if I have a little bit of time to put in for my protein source, my go-to. I was making fun of the ground turkey, but I do 93.7 ground turkey because you can cook it up real quick, season it real quick, and then just stick it in the fridge. So if I cook up 2-3 pounds of it, I can stick it in anything. Like it's always just an easy go-to. A little bit of ground turkey, a little bit of brown rice, stick a veggie with it, figure out what kind of sauce I want on it to flavor it. Do I want it spicy? Do I want it savory? Like whatever, and then go from there. And I can eat on that for several days.
Throw in some broccoli to up your protein. Not
I
really. That wouldn't
do.
help.
I do often eat broccoli with it. I did not know until now that I was increasing my protein intake with it.
I just, I mean, I tell,
Even I learned stuff on this podcast. It's amazing. That's
yeah, hey, eye opening. Yeah, man, I don't know. That's still comical to me. But everybody out there, all of you people listening, what is your favorite source of protein? Right. So we're going to come back in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about protein again for the other side of it, where we're not involving meat. So how that's going to roll.
good because I'm sure you pissed off like half of our listeners. Like animal protein, I'm a vegetarian, so good. So more to come.
Hey, don't worry. I'll talk about the other half you vegetarian vegans out there, I'll probably still piss you off.
You said that with disdain when you.
Hey, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I understand what the body prefers, right? So your opinions don't outweigh the science that's behind this. So that's my biggest argument. Vitamin B12 and heme iron only found in meat products. By the way, that like those like Impossible burgers or whatever. I don't know what it is they're fermenting, but they're fermenting something to get the same amount of B12 as a regular burger in them.
So you're saying I can get drunk off an Impossible Burger?
No, I think they're fermenting meat and extracting the B12. They won't say what their process is, but I've seen the pictures of their factory. A lot of stainless steel vats in there. Just saying, something's happening in there. Anyways, all that and more to come.
We're gonna get a cease and desist from Impossible Burger.
Well, now they'll just have to put it out there. Be like, what are you saying? Now you tell us all the truth. But anyways, I did see that their stock dropped when people were like, I'd rather just have regular meat. So, but anyways, yeah, I think that's it for this. So next time, everybody, like we said, let us know what your favorite protein source is. Well, this might come out with some interesting stuff. Maybe we'll get some new fun recipes out of this.
I would love that. Yeah, please share recipes. I'm always down with new stuff to fix. I can smell the ground turkey chili I actually have going in the crock pot right now. So it's nice there.
That's a good source of protein. And you have some vegetable sources of protein, which we'll talk about on the next protein episode of Franchise Nutrition Fitness Podcast. But like we say every week, maximize every bite.
Maximize every rep.